What is up, besties? It's Lachey Tree L again, Hunty, and make sure you follow me on both Facebook and Instagram, Hunty. Okay, all right. I would love to follow you back every Sunday. If you follow me on Sunday, I follow you back. Okay, all right. Only on Sundays though. So every Sunday, I follow you back. Welcome back, babies. Go ahead and jump into this video about how to sew this closure by hand. I always sew my closures and frontals by hand, just because I am sewing these wigs by on the sewing machine. I do not like to put the closures and the frontals on using the sewing machine, because it can slip out of the way. It can get messy. At least this way I know that the frontals and the closures are on here correctly. The frontal and the closure is the showpiece of the wig. If that is on there correctly, your clients and potential clients are likely to keep coming, flocking back to you, just because that's the main showpiece of the wig. Okay, Hunty? So let me go ahead and pin this down to this canvas head. You want to have a very, very flat surface. And y'all, I don't know why I used a 21 canvas head, 21 inch. That was not ideal for this 21 inch canvas head. It would be okay if I was using a 4x4 closure, since I had a 6x6. Yeah, I was having some problems with pinning it down. However, I did get it flat to the canvas head enough. So I have 3 pre-threaded needles, and I pinned this cap down with some quilted needles. And you guys know I'm going to put all of the links to and the pictures to everything down. If you did not see the last video where I bleached the knots, Hunty, make sure you check that out. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and line this up. I typically pull my closures down slightly, maybe about 1/4 of an inch down past the cap. And I'm going to pin this down, making sure that this is flat and even on both sides. I typically pin down the front of my closures first, and then I turn it around and I flatten it. I roll it back and roll it all the way down. Now, the best way to get the best results when you are using larger closures like this, please use a canvas head that is like either a 23 or 24, just because that top circumference of the head size is a lot bigger. It will not affect the size of your cap. It will not affect the size of that closure or anything. You just need a flat surface in order to be able to do this properly. And I actually did that with the frontal that I'm going to show you in the next video, and you'll be able to see the difference about how that lays on there. But trying to put a frontal or a closure on a 21 inch canvas head, even though I've done it, is just not really ideal. You know, it's a lot trickier trying to pin that down. It's a lot more work. As you see, I'm adjusting it and making sure that everything is nice and neat and fine. I am going to adjust it and keep on adjusting it until I get it correctly, y'all. Just because I am a pro does not mean I do not like to keep readjusting and keep checking my work. I always double check everything and make sure it is correct before I get started. I am using a sew-in needle, which is a C shape. I like to go under the cap and pull my needle through the closure. Let me readjust this for you, babes. Again, through the cap, through the closure. And I'm going to pull this through the split of these 2 threads to lock that in. I'm going to go up under here, and you guys, I crisscross in order to be able to lock these stitches in there. See that? Crisscross. Pull that needle through, pull it all the way down, and it will lock. Every stitch needs to be locked. You do not want this frontal or closure. You do not want either one of those things moving once you get to that sewing machine. If it does, whatever you did before it got to that sewing machine it's going to make it incorrect. It's going to make it as if you didn't even take the precautions of putting this closure or frontal on here correctly. So I've sewed that down all on the right side. I'm going to go ahead and show you on camera the left side. So exact same thing. You see, I didn't start where the first knot was. I started to the right of the knot. So I'm stitching over where I first started stitching from. I like to make sure that my stitches are correct and they overlap. I do not start from one stitch to another one. I always overlap and I always go backwards. So exact same thing, babes. You want to crisscross that, pull that through, crisscross the stitch, pull it through the loop, pull that all the way down, and it will lock it absolutely every single time. Now I like to keep my stitches rather close together versus far apart, just because it'll get rid of absolutely any gaps that may be still left in there from me trying to pin this down, because as you know, like I said, this is a flat piece of this is a flat piece of material that we are sewing down onto a round canvas head that needs to be on there correctly. So to make sure that everything is nice and neat and flat to the canvas head, I put my stitches really tight together. So pull, 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 and as you see right here, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So if you see me putting the pulling the closure down slightly, so I'm putting the stitch under a few notches up under there so that the closure can pull down, and it'll help the closure pull down flat. So I'm not sewing the closure where it sits on those sides. I'm sewing them down and it's pulling it down to the sides to make sure that this closure is going to lay on here really flat. Just because when you cut the underside, it can loosen up just a little bit if you don't have that closure pulled down tight enough. It can affect the size of the cap and change the size of the cap. You don't want that at all. So to pull that flat down to the canvas head, I can avoid this cap changing sizes because I don't want it to. So when I get all the way down here to the ends, I go all the way down. You're going to see me readjusting this a little bit. Like I said, I'm always readjusting everything. Just because like I love for my work to be perfect. What better way for it to be perfect than to adjust it until it's perfect. So as you can see, I'm going to go up under the cap and pull that through, like the little triangle, the little corner part. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and start back stitching as well. I do pull that through that corner twice, and then I begin my back stitch. I back stitch on the machine and by hand. This keeps me from having knots at the ends, which I've noticed a lot of people have a problem with. It will make your wig bulky at the end if you have those knots at the end. You don't want that. So back stitch it and pull the knot in. That way you have the knots inside of the cap. It's better to conceal the knots inside of the cap versus on those ends. All right, babes, I'm done and I'm complete. So this is what it will look like on the inside. Yes, hunty, you can see that. And I'm not going to cut it off right now. I'm going to save that for the next video. So I'm going to show you guys how to put the ribbon on there to conceal your stitching up under there as well. Okay, hunty. So you always double check your work and put your wigs back on the caps back onto the canvas head to make sure that it fits. Okay. Thank you, babe. See you in the next video. Bye. What is up, besties? It's Lachey Tree L again, hunty, and make sure you follow me on both Facebook and Instagram, hunty. Okay, all right. I would love to follow you back every Sunday. If you follow me on Sunday, I follow you back. Okay, all right. Only on Sundays though. So every Sunday I follow you back. So make sure you follow me on Sunday, honey. You don't be unfollow me and then follow me back. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But anyways, here's some more videos for you to watch. Make sure you subscribe. You want to become one of my besties. You can't be my bestie if you ain't subscribed, okay? So subscribe and be one of my besties, all right? Thank you. I love you guys. Bye.